dose of what's trending in the Hub City and all over the nation?
Give it to me.
Check out Ryan's Before the Show show, weekdays at 1:30, live on our social streams. It's the Before the Show show.
I love the show!
From Live 96.7, here's Ryan Smetzer.
What is going on, y'all? Welcome to the second episode of the Before the Show show with Ryan Smetzer right here on our Live 96.7 YouTube channel. If you are watching, drop a line in the chat, say hello, chime in throughout today's show. You know, this is such a cool kind of opportunity that we have each and every day that we get to chat with you guys before we jump onto the air at 2 o'clock to do my show over on Live 96.7 and live967.com. We get to talk about not only the topics that we might be mentioning on the air this afternoon, but we also get to kind of dive into some of the stuff that we might not have time to talk about on the air. You know, you only get a certain amount of time to do a talk break and things like that whenever you're doing your show. So we get to kind of dive into some of the topics a little bit deeper, react to some fun things that are going on, some not so fun things, have some banter, play some games. We're going to do some trivia eventually. We're going to do some giveaways eventually. It's going to be really cool. And we're just so excited to kind of dive into this project a little bit. So if you missed it yesterday, that's kind of how this is going to roll for about a half an hour before we jump on the air at 2 o'clock. I get to be with you guys to hang out for a kind of special pre-show opportunity before I go on the air. And that's why we, of course, called it the Before the Show show. When I was brainstorming over the last couple of weeks what we were going to call this thing, I thought, you know what? Let's just keep it simple and do it as the Before the Show show. So it'll be me, might have some guests along the way throughout the next couple of weeks. And of course, too, you know, like I said, we're going to have some fun, play some games, and, react to some things that are going on in pop culture, locally, statewide, nationwide, all over the globe. It's just going to be a nice little fun time for us to hang out over the course of the 30 minutes before we jump on the air. We'll do it about 3 times out of the week. Next one will be coming up on Thursday. We're going to take tomorrow away just because there's a lot going on tomorrow in my world schedule-wise. But I also wanted to be the first this afternoon to wish you a happy Valentine's Day. Of course, today, the day of love and Cupid. And honestly, for me, I think about like the memories of elementary and middle school, maybe mostly just elementary school, where you got those awesome cardboard Valentine's cards growing up. Like you had the paper bag, or sometimes you got to design like a cute little box, and you had the classroom party. Everybody wrote their Valentine cards. Some of them were cooler than others. It all just kind of depended on like what your parents found in the store and what your parents were willing to spend on. Because some of the cooler Valentine cards with like the candy and stuff were always stupid expensive. And I will say, I was out at Walmart yesterday. I did not see those Valentine cards. So I want to know, do they do those anymore? Is that a thing? Like, I really hope it is, because that was a major part of like my childhood memories, was getting those little Valentine's Day cards, having the Valentine's party. And then I want to say I got sick one year. Would be my 3rd or 4th grade year in elementary school, when I think we had like an elementary school party for Valentine's Day, and we had red chips. That's what it was. I have the hiccups all of a sudden too. Red tortilla chips with like nachos and cheese or something. But the red food dye that was in the chips made me sick, on top of the fact that I was eating just a stupid amount of candy. And yeah, I got really, really sick to my stomach that night. And I want to say after that, I kind of had a really bad place towards Valentine's Day. It got better over the years, though. Valentine's Day is a really fun holiday, no matter where you're at in life, whether you're single, dating, engaged, married, you got stuff going on the side, you got, friends, whatever you got going on. Valentine's Day is just a day to celebrate love and happiness. So whether you are dating somebody, whether you are engaged to somebody, you're married for, generations, or you are single, it is a great day to have a great day. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. And we're going to talk all different angles of Valentine's Day too, the good and some of the not so very good elements of romance and Valentine's Day. But before we do that, let's go ahead and talk about the most dysfunctional thing surrounding love on television. And that is last night's episode of The Bachelor. I mean, that was a time. That is the Ted Lasso trailer, not The Bachelor. Here we go. Last night's episode of The Bachelor, I mean, it was something else. Obviously, this upcoming episode, they're going to be headed out to London. But last night, they spent some time out in the Bahamas. They went out on that trip. And I think it's cool that they're back into this mode where they are going out to like other faraway places over the course of the season. I know that during COVID, they kind of had to do the entire season like in one controlled location, and it got really boring after a while because they would rent out a full resort, and instead of going on excursions to the Bahamas, they would try to recreate the Bahamas in like a swimming pool. It was just not great. So it's good that they're able to kind of go out on these trips a little bit more. And you know, there was all sorts of drama obviously that tied into the whole entire thing, but it was all very comedic drama. Like there were, what was the one that I early on, I forget what her name was, that had the shellfish allergy, and she couldn't participate in the game they were playing where they were all tossing like shrimp and crab balls into each other's mouths. And I think Zach was like feeding some of them, and she was just really distraught and upset about the fact that she could not participate because she had a shellfish allergy. And it was a very emotional scene. Like you fell for her, obviously. Like you felt for her because she, you know, having an allergy is not a funny thing, but like it was just so heavily dramatized on the episode. Like they had this music blasting, and it was just like, I can't hang out with him because I'm allergic to shellfish. This is so like, it was just so intense in the funniest way. So that was a whole thing. Then of course we got into the fight with Anastasia and Kylie, and the issues over wanting to talk to Zach and not wanting to fight each other, and all of that drama, which then of course transpired to Kylie informing some of the girls and to Zach about Anastasia's desire to have an Instagram following, which did not make Zach very happy because Zach wants everybody to be at the show for the right reasons, to find love and to, you know, eventually marry Zach. Well, he was not thrilled about the fact that she apparently made a comment about once you reach a certain point in the show, you're almost guaranteed upwards of 50,000 Instagram followers. Which, by the way, Zach, I don't even think has 50,000 Instagram followers. I'm actually going to check that live during this because like I just think it's just such an odd concept that he was so upset about this commentary that took place. He has 92.5 thousand followers. I was terribly wrong. But you know, this idea that he's mad at her for making a comment about that. Look, at the end of the day, yes, you're going on that show to find love. If we're looking at the genuine reason why you're going on that show, you're going on that show to find a forever person. But you can't tell me that all of them were sitting there and thinking, oh, we're not thinking at all about social media clout. When you go on a reality show in 2023, in the 2020s era, you're mostly going on there to try to generate some sort of social media clout so that then eventually you can get cool things like endorsement deals, you know, other stuff like that, advertising opportunities. It's all a part of it. It's becoming an influencer via television. So him getting mad and sending her home, I get it. He means business with this particular season compared to most other bachelors where they kind of beat around the bush in these kind of scenarios when there's drama. He's not messing around. We've seen that in recent weeks where he'll send people home just for the slightest bit of drama. He thinks about it for a little while and then immediately, you know, takes care of business. I will say that Zach is very bad at hiding who he is trying to confront. He'll walk into the room of all of the ladies and have these conversations where he'll be like, you know, look, I'm here for the right reasons. I want you all to be here for the right reasons. And I've been told that there are certain individuals or individual people that aren't here for the right reasons. And so we're going to address that. Oh, and by the way, Anastasia, can we talk? I mean, I think it was pretty blatantly obvious that Anastasia was the one that was in trouble. So I just think, you know, we talk all the time about Zach being very robotic, and this episode didn't really help him not prove himself to be robotic because just the way that he reacted to things, the way that he had conversations about things, we still haven't really seen like a genuinity or like a raw emotional side to Zach. Now, next week, they are headed to London. And we'll just watch this teaser real quick, and then I'll give you my take.
So let's cheers to London.
Next week on The Bachelor.
What are you up to?
Dating the same guy.
Right.
This is the perfect place to fall in love.
Oh, you're so cute.
I'm just here for loves, not treats.
I haven't met a man so genuine, so ready to fall in love.
Hi.
I feel so special.
I can absolutely picture my life with Zach.
Nothing's gonna stop us from having such an amazing week.
Unfortunately, I got some really bad news.
Are you serious?
And they were
I was
stopped.
not expecting that.
We don't really know where we go from here.
This week was robbed.
I don't know why this happens.
That's like love being lost.
The million-dollar question now is, what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
It's all coming up next week on The Bachelor.
So there you go. We've got a situation. And I believe that situation is that Zach is sick. Probably COVID. I mean, I would only assume that that's the case. Because we went from all of this footage to nothing's going to stop this from being an amazing trip to boom, dramatic music, and all of a sudden his video quality is that of a Zoom call. So my take is it's probably COVID. My guess is he made his way pretty deep into that London trip and was ready to probably narrow down the amount of contestants, the amount of women on the show, and now has to make those decisions over a Zoom call. I'm intrigued. This is going to be an interesting episode because, again, they never really had to deal with this entirely, really at all during COVID specifically. During the peak of the pandemic when they were filming the show, they really did not run into any issues where a lead I don't want to say character, but a lead contestant on the show got sick and couldn't, perform the show. You did have the one contestant that was on this previous season with Gabby and Rachel, who he got sick, but he was also kind of mostly on his way out anyway. Like he was getting I think he'd gotten in trouble about something. So I don't think he would have even moved forward, but he got sick. He couldn't move forward because he was in quarantine. At that point, they had to make decisions on, who to keep and who to go home. So this is the first time I think we're going to see a lead on The Bachelor or The Bachelorette actually get sick and actually go through a quarantine process during the peak of their season. I'm going to be interested in seeing how Zach handles this, because I'm going to assume that he's going to have to take care of business and do his rose ceremony virtually, which, I mean, that's uncomfortable at best. Like, he's on a Zoom call. What, are you going to have a screen with all of the women there? Are they all also on a Zoom call? Are they together? I mean, could you imagine if they just screen recorded a Zoom call, like, of just the, 15 plus boxes on the screen, and he's just eliminating them and just deleting them off of the screen? Like, it could be uncomfortable, but the entire season has pretty much been uncomfortable anyway. So there's my recap, at least for this show of The Bachelor. If you want to catch my full recap and reaction to the episode as it happened last night, you can always see it every single week over at our Live 96.7 YouTube channel and live967.com with Ryan Watches The Bachelor on a Bike. Really my cool opportunity to get my workout in on my Mondays. Mondays are always super busy, so I get to basically spend 2 hours on a bike and hang out with you guys and talk about The Bachelor. So you can catch that full reaction. It's about 15-20 minutes, so it shortens it down from the 2 hours that is the episode. You can watch that right now, again, over at live967.com. But on to Valentine's Day. We have got a great Valentine's Day ahead. It's gorgeous out here in the hub city and the surrounding area. Not a cloud Sorry, there are some clouds in the sky, so I can't say not a cloud in the sky. I was double checking on that. It's relatively nice, though, about 55, 60 degrees. So a gorgeous day to honestly, take your Valentine out for a walk, go to the park, or do one of these things that geographically are the top date activities based on Google searches. Yes. Uniquely searched date activities by state over the past month. Just recently updated less than a week ago. So, Maryland, what's your deal? Explain yourselves. How is it that the number one searched date idea in the state of Maryland is bowling? I just think it's generic. Like, I don't even say it's bad. I have nothing against bowling. I love to bowl. But bowling? I mean, it's not as bad as some of these. Like, let's see. There's a lot of escape rooms. I'm not going to lie. I think that's like a go with your significant other and their family, your significant other and their friends, maybe a work thing. I don't know about like a one-on-one date to an escape room. I mean, that's a true test of your, skills to work with each other and make decisions and things like that. But I don't know. Probably not a first date, in my opinion. Pennsylvania, bowling as well. West Virginia is a trip to the arcade. I don't know many arcades in West Virginia, though, so I could not help anybody in West Virginia out with that specifically. Virginia is a museum. Then right below them in the Carolinas, we got the drive-in theater escape room, a drive-in movie theater. A lot of people loving the drive-in movie theaters. I want to know what's going on out west with Rage Room, frozen yogurt, spa, and go-karts, along with sip and paint and putt-putt. I just love these calming activities. And then right smack dab in the middle, you've got Rage Room. I'm here for it, though. Japanese Friendship Garden. That's one of the more unique ones that it's not like heavily repeated here on the map specifically. We have, what's over here off to the side? Okay, we can't see it. That's a bummer. I was really hoping to see okay, I see axe throwing. I want to say that's probably like cooking class. That looks like bowling again, potentially. A lot of escape rooms, comedy show. That is a fun idea. I would love to do that. Bookstore. I'm here for that. Museum. A lot of museums. Mini golf is there. What is the difference between mini golf and putt-putt, y'all, over here on the West Coast? That's what I'm intrigued by here. And then a lot of movies. Movies, movie theaters, dine-in theaters. That's a nice place, too. Drive-in theaters. I'm here for it. And then Alaska. I'm loving y'all's over here. This is actually what I am doing tonight. I'm in a dinner theater production of Grease. So there you go. Hang out this Valentine's Day. There might be a few tickets left. We're near sold out the whole run of Grease, which has been such a fun show to do. Honestly, like one of my favorites for sure. But now we move from going on dates to putting a complete conclusion to those dates altogether. And that is the most popular breakup songs of the last year. Basically between last Valentine's Day, from 2018's Valentine's Day to 2023, this organization called Learn Divorce Law has gotten together and they've analyzed over 100 songs and they've determined what songs could be the most popular breakup songs based on all sorts of different metrics. Basically, again, the study was Learn Divorce Law. They summed their Spotify streams and YouTube views to discover which song that had a breakup theme to it or heartbreak theme to it was the most popular across YouTube and Spotify. So, the results we have. At number 10, Good For You by Olivia Rodrigo. Not shocking to me at all. Like, Driver's License probably should be on here. Maybe it is. I'm only looking at number 10 right now, but not surprised that Good For You by Olivia Rodrigo is one of these songs on here because, again, it's a solid breakup song. It's angsty. It's angry. It's got that just punch to it. Number 9, No Tears Left to Cry, Ariana Grande. Again, another one that is not a sad breakup song per se. It's very much like a, hey, I got no tears left to cry. Like, This is an empowering song. I love it. Totally deserving of being a number 9. Billie Eilish, When the Party's Over. Big sad. I mean, that one is like, there's barely any instruments to it. It is just sad Billie Eilish through and through. I'm all in. At number 7, Ariana Grande, Thank You Next. I mean, duh. When this came out, this was by far like the number 1 breakup song of many, many decades. So there you go. Thank You Next, Ariana Grande. Right after that, Without Me at number 6, Without Me by Halsey. Okay. I mean, a lot of that era of Halsey's music was very, very content-wise can be used very much in the breakup world, for sure. Especially because Halsey was going through a lot of stuff too at that time. Blackpink, Kill This Love. Didn't even think about that one. Number 5, huge streaming numbers, of course, too. Blackpink, epic, worldwide. Yeah, totally get it. Number 4, Dua Lipa, Don't Start Now. Didn't even think about that one being a breakup song, but I get it too. It has a great beat to it as well. Marshmello and Bastille, Happier. Totally get it. Totally understand. 100%. Number 2, Sad, XXX Tentacion. My bottle was falling there. I'm gonna take a drink from it while we're at it. Sad, I get it 100%. And number 1, this one is the one I can totally agree with and is by far the number 1 breakup song of the last year, and that is Lewis Capaldi's Someone You Loved. You can't listen to this song and not think of a past heartbreak. You could be in the peak of your life personally and be hearing that song, and you're immediately going to think of the most like traumatic, sad moments of your life, the saddest heartbreaks. You're going to be thinking about like that one time you got friend zoned in middle school, the one time you like couldn't get a slow dance with that girl you had a crush on in high school. Like, it's going to bring you back 100%. Lewis Capaldi, Someone You Loved, with what I'm seeing as 2,643,000,000 Spotify streams, 588 million YouTube views. Again, a total of about 3 billion listens across the board between Spotify and YouTube. I mean, I want to know. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments. What is your go-to breakup song? What is the song that you go to maybe process things, get a good cry in? But also, what are those things that you might be listening to say, you know what? I don't need them anymore. I'm independent. Like that Ariana Grande, No Tears Left to Cry. Thank You Next. Good for You, Olivia Rodrigo. Don't Start Now, Dua Lipa. I love that they kind of split it up half and half, which, by the way, this is a top 100 list. I'm actually curious to know top 100 breakup songs. I want to see if I can find this actual top 100 list, because I would just love to see like what some of the deep cuts are. Learn, Divorce, Law. Also, just total savage move by Learn Divorce Law, a company that's teaching people divorce law, is giving you your most popular breakup songs. I'm here for it. All right, let's look here. Honorable mentions. Dua Lipa, yeah, it shows all those. Oh, we got to see this top one. If there's 100 of them, I want to see the remaining 90. All right, we're going to find these. We're going to find these 100%. But let me know in the comments, what was your go-to just breakup or heartbreak song? And now, finally, my last story before we jump on the air. And this is one, honestly, that I might have to rant about for a little bit later on during my show. And that is the return of everyone's favorite purple dinosaur.
Just months after Teletubbies got their reboot. Ed's excited. Now another childhood favorite is making a comeback. Everyone's favorite purple dinosaur, Barney. Mattel Incorporated plans on relaunching the show. It's going to look a little different though. The animated series is going to air next year. I loved Barney.
I was a big Barney fan. You can tell those of us that watched Barney because we wanted to, and those of us parents that had to watch because
their kids watched. Yes.
Of us.
All right, let's look at it. I am not mad. I'm not. I'm not mad at all about this. Like, I love him. Barney was a character that I grew up with over the years. Barney is just one of my favorite TV shows growing up. Whenever I was a toddler, Barney was the show that my parents always had on for me. I think they probably bought me a total of like 100 Barney tapes. Love you, Mom and Dad. Thank you for spending that much money on a purple dinosaur. But that was my jam. When I went to go to my babysitter's house whenever I was like 4, 5 years old, maybe even up to like 6 or 7, probably 6 is when it got kind of older and then I evolved more into like Power Rangers. But when I was young, man, Barney was my thing. Like, Barney was my show. I had all the toys. I had everything. And like, that was a major part of my upbringing. And so I get it. There's a lot of people that are upset because let's look at Barney through the years. They're saying that they're kind of upset that obviously Barney looks drastically different. But, I mean, let's take a look here. Obviously, Barney in 1991. Here's Barney in 1990. Probably go all the way back. Yeah, there's 88 Barney. Then you had 90, 91 Barney. You know, Barney evolved over the years. Barney kind of stayed the same there throughout most of the 90s, throughout most of the 2000s, throughout most of the mid 2000s. And then Barney pretty much came to an end at around like 2005 or so, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, Barney looks a little bit different now, but Barney's got to get a little bit of a facelift in 2023. If they just brought out the giant purple dinosaur costume from the 2000s, I just don't think it would work well in 2023. So look, if you're going to make a cartoon Barney, you better bring back Baby Bop and BJ and, you know, all of those characters, but I'm here for it. I loved this show. I was in the camp of like heavily defending Barney when everybody wanted to like send him death threats and all sorts of stuff. If you haven't seen that Peacock documentary, you have got to go check it out, by the way. But I'm totally in favor with this. I love the new Barney. I'm excited for the new Barney. This gets me stoked too, because like, obviously I have no intentions of having kids anytime soon, but when I do, I want them to have Barney in their life. And I know for a fact that those VHS tapes are not going to play anymore. They're probably already deteriorated in that box in the attic somewhere. But if they can watch cartoon action hero looking Barney, who I just hope kind of sounds similar, like as long as they don't like totally change his voice. I get it. They probably can't use the original voice guy. I think he's retired maybe. But look, I like cartoon Barney. I'm here for cartoon Barney. Hashtag Team Cartoon Barney. Way to go, Mattel. I'm excited about it. Well, hey, that wraps up today's episode of the Before the Show show. As always, you can watch us weekdays, 1:30 before I jump on the air. We're going to do it again, like I said, about 3 days out of the week, just to allow kind of some flexibility schedule-wise. Won't be on tomorrow. We'll have a podcast for you coming up tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., and then we'll rebroadcast the podcast for you during our Before the Show show on Thursday. So tune back in Thursday afternoon, 1:30. It's going to be great. Again, as always, we'll talk about all the things that we might not get to chat about later on this afternoon and other topics that we just want to kind of dig a little deeper into and have a little fun in the process too. So go ahead, subscribe to us over there on YouTube. Click that bell so you find out whenever we go live each and every day. And as always, thank you so much for watching the Before the Show show right here on our Live 96.7 YouTube channel. Have a great Valentine's Day afternoon. Have a great Valentine's Day evening. We'll catch you there right here on this channel tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. for the Pawcast with an adoptable pet from the Humane Society of Washington County. In the meantime, God bless. Peace out, Girl Scouts. I'll catch you over here on the air at 2 o'clock till 6 tonight on Live 96.7.
Want an extra dose of what's trending in the Hub City and all over the nation?
Give it to me. Give it.
Check out Ryan's Before the Show show, weekdays at 1:30. Live on our social streams.